We had a lot of fun last Tuesday, and one of the things we decided, we all voted that we would like to grow our database by 240 contacts over the next 12 months. Doesn't matter where we're starting at. Some people had 50, other people had 500. We picked the goal of 240 over the next 12 months. So we sat down and we did our business planning, our 135 around what are we going to do to grow 240 contacts in 12 months. Nice round number. It divides into 12. So what we are looking to do is how are we going to grow our database by 20 people each month. So we came down and we decided that we wanted to have three goals or three main focuses to get this accomplished. Obviously, the first one, we want to meet new people. So we want to meet people who we've never talked to before. There are unmets. And the MREA talks about our unmets. This is everybody who's outside of our sphere of influence already. So we want to meet enough people each month to be able to add 20 a month. The other focus we want to do is we want to improve the relationships on our unmets to Mets. So once we meet someone, we want to improve the relationship with them. And eventually our goal is to turn every person that we know into raving fans about us and our business. And the third thing we wanted to do is we wanted to grow our database by referrals. So people that started out as unmets who are now raving fans are willing to refer new people to us that we have not met yet. So now we have our raving fans working hard to find us our contacts. So between these three strategies, we felt that we could increase by 240 people over the next 12 months. So these are great goals, and now we want to sit down and we want to look at what strategies we're going to use on each one. So we've broken them down into 5 action steps, and you'll see right away for those who are already counting that we have 6 action steps for each one. So on meeting new people, we talked about it, and we knew that holding open houses on a consistent basis is a great way to meet brand new people. Then we talked about doing door knocking, finding areas. So maybe we have an open house we're going to do, and we're going to focus on knocking on the doors around that open house prior to it, and hopefully meet new people that way. We wanted to grow our vendor list, and since a lot of the vendors that we're not even in business with, are people we haven't met yet, they certainly qualify as unmets, but we wanted to grow our vendor list. The fourth thing, of course, we want to attend events, parades, churches, sporting events, anything that we can be involved in, because we're going to meet a lot of new people there, and we want to share with them what it is that we do, and likewise to find out what they do so that they can become somebody that we can stay in contact with over the next 12 months. And then finally, we decided that along with open houses, it'd be fun to start hitting garage sales. Oftentimes, people who are doing garage sales also have an interest in possibly selling their home. So it'd be a great way to meet new people, and also a great way to meet your neighbors. So we picked these 6 action steps to meeting new people is what we're going to focus on over the next 12 months. Now there are many, many more. These are the things that we came up with though, and we knew that we would do these things. So our next stated goal was to improve the relationships. So once we have met new people, what are we going to do with them? So one of the things we thought was, how about lunches on a periodic time schedule? Take somebody that we just met out to lunch and find out more about them. So lunches would certainly help to improve our relationships. Obviously, writing handwritten cards on a consistent basis would go out. We want to improve our follow-up. So if we've met somebody, it's important that we follow up immediately with them and let them know we thank them for their time. They were thinking of them, and give them maybe something from contribution. And a thank you card is certainly coming from contribution. So there's our follow-up. And some of these things we can tie in together. I'm going to skip 33 touches for a second and go down to somebody suggested hugs. A great way to improve relationships. Don't abuse that one, guys. Then we have contribution, coming from contribution. If I am constantly finding a way to make people's lives better, even somebody I just met, and I'm looking for ways to give them something. And it could be our information, it could be information on what the market's doing, it could just be a thoughtful thing. that would help to improve their lives. So of these five things that we have, we realize that all of these can be handled by putting them into our 33 touch or putting new contacts. So as we were going through this list, we realized that one of the best ways to grow our take our people from METs to unmet, or from unmets to mets, is to consistently make sure we put their names into our contact manager and to set them up on 33 touches. We know that if we have a person and we consistently reach out to them and touch them over the course of the year, in this case 33 times, it will improve our relationship with them. So we felt that the 33 touch was probably the most important thing we could do to improve the relationships. Now we get over to referrals. People that we know are probably the best ones to meet brand new people because they're willing to go out and be an advocate for us. And yet sometimes people don't think to recommend us until we ask for them. So one of the goals we want to do is to consistently ask people for referrals. And maybe we don't know how to ask them. So that comes into things that we can do for script practice and role playing is how do we ask for referrals. Over on new people, we're meeting a lot of new vendors. And it would only be natural that if we like somebody, we want to be in business with them, is to give referrals to our vendors. What a great way to receive referrals back is to give first. It also fits into coming from contribution and to follow up. We realize that we also want to focus on developing relationships with professionals, attorneys, CPAs, other people in the profession who would also be looking to us to maybe refer business back to us. So we want to have that relationship that we could both refer people to them and have them refer people back to us. Past clients, a natural. If we haven't been in real estate before, we've been in something. There's been something in our lives that we've done where we have dealt with people, either in a public relationship or a job or something we've done that we could consider them a past client or a past friend. So we need to go and reach out to people we've known in the past, we've done something for them, and let them know we're in real estate. And as we're doing that, we want to ask them for a referral for anybody they know who might be looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate. Now this one, orphans. Not what you may think. Orphan real estate clients are people who bought or sold a home, and after they bought the home, the real estate agent that sold them a home has completely ignored them and forgotten them. So we want to be purposeful about reaching out to people who've just bought homes on the off chance that over the next 7 to 10 years, they too will be looking to resell that home. And we want to be the agent that they remember and not the one they originally dealt with. So there's a strategy and a whole course on how to go and go after orphan real estate clients. And then finally, we came up with the idea to do a first-time home or an investor seminar. To become an expert in a topic, people will refer their friends to us if they see us as being knowledgeable in what it is that we do. So these are the 18 steps that we came up to further our goal of over the next 12 months meeting and improving relationships with at least 240 people. So now that we've done this, I feel like this is the hardest work right now, to identify what it is that we need to do. Where most people fall down, though, is they get to this point, they have a plan of what they're going to do, and they fail to get it into their schedule. They fail to put it in a place where they will act on it on a daily basis. So the next thing we talked about our 411. Now, I know you've heard about it. I know that there's been a lot of conversation. If you're in Ignite, you see it. I want to take you through the actual 411 and show how it relates to your business plan and how it relates to your 135. So right away, we've started this out. I've already gone through and filled this out. But the first thing that we want to do is we want to establish our goals for the year 2016. And I'm going to assume that this is January 1st, that we've had a chance to work on this at the end of last year, and this is what we've come up with. So our stated goal is 240 contacts into our database over the next 12 months. Well, if I look at it, I've already referred to or implied, we're going to take that 240 and we're going to divide it by 12 months. So we need to track what we do each and every month to put 20 people into our database. And if I do the math even further, I find out that it's actually 5 contacts a week or 1 contact a day into our database to hit 240 contacts during the next 12 months. Pretty doable when I break it down that way. One one person a day into my database. So let's take a look at what it works out to. Now, I've gone ahead and I've jumped ahead and I said, okay, this is my first week, and I don't report these numbers until I get to the end of the week. But here's what I did. I did an open house. And in my open house, I met 5 new people came through. So I got their names. I've now put them into my database. During that same time, I've talked to 3 new vendors. So those go into my database. I went to 2 garage sales, which these garage sales happened to be in the neighborhood where we were doing our open house. So while I was there, I invited, make sure that they knew that we were doing an open house. And so I invited the people to come to the open house. So I met 2 new people there. Now, just so you know, I don't count them if they do come to the open house. I've already counted them as my garage sales. So during that time, in that same neighborhood that I was in, there was actually an expired home in that area. So I reached out to the seller and I let them know that we had a home that was coming up on the market. And if they were still interested in selling the home, then, and if I had any extra buyers, I would love to work with them on the sale of their home. So I met 1 new person there. Now I'm going to jump past the 33 touch here. And while I was out there, I asked for referrals from people. And in this case, I asked my vendors. And my vendors actually had 2 people who they thought might be interested in buying, selling, or investing in real estate. So I received 2 new contacts from there. And while I was talking to people, I was asking, I met a new person at church, and they actually mentioned that they needed the services of one of the vendors that I had just met. So I referred this person who I just met to one of my vendors. And then finally, I reached out to 5 people that I've dealt with in the past and let them know that I was in real estate and that I was thinking of them. And they responded favorably. They said yes, they weren't thinking of doing anything right now, but down the road they were. So as a result of all these people that I met, the brand new contacts that I put into my database were 19 during the first week. Now remember, my goal is to find 20 new contacts in a month, and my weekly goal is 5 per week. So already, just following these activities, I now have 19 new contacts in my database. Now, some people would say, well, I'm 19, I only need 1 more for the month and I can take the month off. And yet, I want to illustrate just how easy it is to find new contacts. So instead of 240 contacts a year, maybe I want to reevaluate my goal and say maybe make it 500 contacts a year. Regardless, I wanted to show you just how easy it is to track the numbers and how easy it is to meet new people each and every week. Now, the way I've laid out my 411 is these are the actions that I want to follow each and every week. So what I've done, and I need to jump back and explain what I've done here, is that each week I'm going to track the same exact results each and every week, and I want to track that. And at the end of the year, I want to be able to look back and see what activities brought me the most about a business during the year. And this is certainly one way to track where my actions are being spent and where it should be spent in the future. So I want to go back up and explain what it is I did. As a group, we went through here and we went through this list, and we decided of all the things that we've listed, we wanted to pick action items that we knew that we would do and that we would do at a high level. Also wanted to consider cost in these, and we knew that we had the support of people who were willing to help us do our open houses. We also know that door knocking really is a low cost thing to do. Certainly talking to vendors doesn't take anything. Throwing events or going to events is a good thing, and yet we weren't maybe in the financial situation, but to target and go to all free events we could was certainly within our means. Calling expired and FSBOs, again, can cost money, and yet it doesn't need to. And certainly going to garage sales is just a fun thing, unless you like to buy a lot of things, then it can get expensive. We decided that buying lunches for a lot of people on a consistent basis may not be in our budget just yet, and yet we know that it's a great way to improve relationships. Cards are less expensive, and really is a great way to do that. And it is on our schedule to do these things down the road. Follow up is certainly something we can do. We need to add contacts on a consistent basis in our 33 touch. So if we did nothing else, we wanted to track our results from that. We wanted to have ask, of course. We wanted to give referrals to our vendors, and we wanted to establish and we wanted to contact past clients and reach out to them. The other things we know we wanted to do, and yet many of us felt like we needed more information on how to go after that, and it's certainly something that we can train on and work on going forward. So I hope this has been helpful on creating a 4-1 or a 135, a business plan, and taking that business plan and putting it into practical use by a 411. Now, the next step is I'm going to take each one of these activities here and I want to put them on my calendar. So my calendar should reflect the fact that I have an open house scheduled each week. It should show that during my lead generation time, I have certain time that I'm going to set talking to vendors. I should also have in there a time to find garage sales that I want to go to. And certainly during lead generation time, I have scheduled in there expireds and for sale by owners. So these things should all be in my schedule. In fact, during my lead generation time, I would have vendors, garage sales, expired for sale by owners, to actually ask people, give referrals to vendors, and also contact past clients. So during a 2 or 3 hour time period, I could accomplish probably most of the activities on my schedule, and then the 33 touch could be my clerical work that I do later in the day from my notes, is get that information into there. So you can see it doesn't take 8 hours a day to accomplish these things, and the results could be absolutely phenomenal if you just focus on what it is that you want to accomplish. Anyway, thank you. Hope this has helped. If you have any questions, this is Dave Kidder, Keller Williams, and you can reach me at dkidder@kw.com. Thanks for watching. Bye.